Welcome to Tech Motor Show. For over a century, Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles have epitomized the spirit of freedom and adventure on two wheels. These American legends have not only shaped the motorcycle industry, but have also become cultural icons worldwide. Founded in the early 1900s, both Harley-Davidson and Indian quickly rose to prominence, setting benchmarks in engineering and design. Their machines symbolized innovation and the unyielding American spirit. As their reputations grew, so did their global reach. Enthusiasts from Europe to Asia embraced these brands, creating a worldwide community of riders. However, with expansion came challenges. Economic downturns, fierce competition, and evolving markets tested their resilience. In recent times, these iconic brands face a new adversary: international tariff disputes. Donald Trump imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, prompting the European Union to retaliate with a 50% tariff on American motorcycles over 500cc. This directly impacts Harley-Davidson and Indian. Antonio Perlot, Secretary General of the European Association of Motorcycle Manufacturers, or ACEM, stated, "While we recognize the need for balanced responses to trade disputes, motorcycles should not become collateral damage." He emphasized that the industry provides high-quality manufacturing jobs and mobility for millions. The repercussions are profound. Harley-Davidson reported a 17% decline in global deliveries in 2024, with European sales dropping by 11%. The added tariffs could further deter potential buyers, making these motorcycles less accessible. Harley dealers across Europe are reporting a decline in sales. Additional tariffs could be devastating for them and the entire community that relies on these bikes. This isn't the first time tariffs have played a role in the motorcycle industry. In 1983, the US imposed a 45% tariff on heavyweight motorcycles to protect Harley-Davidson from Japanese competition. Although it offered temporary relief, the company recognized that innovation and quality were the true paths to survival. The current tariff war extends beyond motorcycles. The EU's measures target a range of US products, aiming to pressure for negotiations. However, such strategies risk broader economic consequences, affecting jobs and industries on both sides. A European Harley-Davidson enthusiast shared, "These bikes are more than machines, they're a way of life. Tariffs should not take that away from us." An Indian motorcycle owner added, "I've ridden Indians for years. The thought of these tariffs affecting future riders saddens me." Trade war escalation after the Trump administration. The roots of the current trade war trace back to the Trump administration's America First policies, which aimed to prioritize domestic manufacturing over free trade. In 2018, tariffs were placed on imported steel and aluminum, a move intended to protect American jobs, but which inadvertently increased costs for US manufacturers. In response, the European Union imposed countermeasures, targeting key American industries, including motorcycles. In reaction, Harley-Davidson shifted some production overseas to avoid the tariffs, a decision that sparked backlash from political leaders and consumers alike. After Trump left office, subsequent administrations struggled to negotiate a rollback of these tariffs. The Biden administration attempted to ease tensions, yet trade restrictions remained, deepening the effects on motorcycle manufacturers. In 2024, the EU reimposed a 50% tariff on American motorcycles, citing continued imbalances in trade policies. The result was a significant decline in sales, forcing Harley-Davidson and Indian to reassess their international strategy. Models that struggled in sales. While tariffs have played a major role in declining sales, they aren't the only culprit. Shifting rider demographics, riding costs, fierce international competition, and evolving expectations around technology and performance have all taken their toll. Not every launch hits the mark, and even legacy brands like Harley-Davidson and Indian have seen some models underperform in recent years. Here's a breakdown of 6 notable models from Harley and Indian that failed to gain traction and what went wrong. Number 1. Street 500 and Street 750. Harley's attempt to capture the urban, budget-conscious rider with the Street Series had all the right intentions, but the execution missed the mark. Built on a new platform and manufactured partially overseas, these bikes were criticized for their underwhelming build quality, lackluster performance, and styling that didn't quite feel Harley. Despite a strong marketing push aimed at new, younger riders and international markets, the Street 500 and 750 failed to deliver the ride experience expected from the brand. Sales lagged for years before Harley quietly discontinued the line in 2021. Number 2. Sportster Series. The Sportster family, especially models like the Iron 883 and 48, once defined Harley's entry into the big bike world. Over time, however, this platform began to feel outdated in terms of engine refinement, tech features, and ergonomics. With strict emission regulations in Europe and rising expectations for performance and value from modern riders, the air-cooled Sportster gradually lost relevance. Although Harley attempted to reinvigorate the series with the Sportster S in recent years, older models experienced sharp declines in demand, signaling a broader identity crisis for the once mighty platform. Number 3. Livewire, first generation. Harley's bold electric experiment was a leap into the future, but the landing was rough. The Livewire was praised for its design, acceleration, and tech-forward approach, yet its $30,000 plus price tag and limited real-world range alienated core Harley riders and failed to attract enough EV enthusiasts to justify the premium. Worse still, many riders still associate Harley with loud, rumbling cruisers, so marketing an ultra-quiet futuristic machine required a cultural pivot that didn't fully resonate. It was eventually spun off into its own brand, with Harley retooling the approach for Livewire 1 and future models. Number 4. FTR 1200. Indian's ambitious entry into the street fighter market was a stylish and powerful machine that drew on flat-track inspiration, but it struggled to find its footing in a crowded, highly competitive segment. Early models suffered from quirky ergonomics, a higher price point than rivals like the Yamaha MT-09 or Ducati Monster, and unclear market positioning. Riders were left wondering if the FTR was a sporty naked, an adventure bike, or a tracker-inspired oddity. Although a redesign improved handling and comfort, global sales dropped by 12.4% in 2024. Number 5. Chieftain Classic. Part of Indian's big bagger lineup, the Chieftain Classic had the looks and the chrome, yet it couldn't stand out in a segment dominated by Harley's Road Glide and Street Glide. Heavy, expensive, and lacking compelling innovations compared to its competitors, it struggled to justify its place in the lineup, especially as the touring market shifted toward more tech-driven, feature-loaded options. Eventually, Indian trimmed its lineup and shifted focus toward more popular variants like the Chieftain Dark Horse and limited models. Number 6. Roadmaster Elite. Indian's top-tier touring machine was packed with luxury touches, heated seats, premium paint, and top-shelf infotainment. But it came with a price tag that rivaled some cars. The Roadmaster Elite's six-figure cost turned off many riders who couldn't justify the expense, especially when more affordable options offered similar ride quality and features. Despite its technological showcase, it couldn't move the sales needle in a market that values practicality and value as much as prestige. These struggles are a wake-up call. Even the most iconic brands cannot coast on legacy alone. The motorcycle world is changing fast, and today's riders demand performance, innovation, and value in one sleek package. It's not enough to be loud and proud. You've got to be nimble, smart, and global. For Harley and Indian, the path forward lies not in looking back, but in learning, adapting, and evolving. If they want to win back riders both at home and overseas, these brands must blend heritage with high tech and soul with strategy. The struggle with developing markets. Despite their iconic status in the US, Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles have struggled to gain traction in developing economies and in China. Harley's biggest setback was in India, the world's largest motorcycle market, where it failed to align with local demand for smaller, affordable bikes. Its heavyweight cruisers and premium pricing didn't match what the average Indian rider was looking for. Poor service networks and competition from brands like Royal Enfield compounded the problem, ultimately leading Harley to exit direct operations in 2020. Indian Motorcycle's footprint was even smaller overseas without local manufacturing or budget-friendly models. Indian failed to connect with international riders. Its lineup, heavily focused on premium cruisers and touring bikes, had limited appeal in markets dominated by 150 to 250cc bikes. In China, both brands faced a mix of cultural and regulatory challenges, with major cities restricting motorcycle use and local brands like CF Moto offering similar styling at lower prices. American-style cruisers struggled to resonate with younger, tech-savvy Chinese riders. These failures highlight a key issue. What works in America doesn't always translate globally. To survive abroad, these brands must rethink pricing, bike design, and market fit, or risk fading away in the world's fastest-growing regions. Future strategies for regaining market share. To counter these challenges, Harley-Davidson and Indian must explore new strategies to regain their global market share. Here are some key options. Number 1. Localized manufacturing in Europe. Establishing production facilities in Europe could help bypass tariffs and make their bikes more competitive in the European market. Although Harley-Davidson has already explored this with its Thai factory, expanding into Europe might provide better long-term stability. Number 2. Diversifying product lines. Introducing smaller, more affordable models suited to emerging markets like Asia and South America could help counteract losses in traditional markets. While Harley's Livewire electric brand and Indian's focus on mid-range cruisers are steps in the right direction, further innovation is needed. Number 3. Partnerships with European brands. Collaborating with European motorcycle brands for joint ventures or shared technology could help establish a stronger foothold in tariff-heavy markets. Partnerships with companies such as BMW or Ducati could unlock new growth opportunities. Number 4. Investment in electric motorcycles. With the global shift towards sustainability, embracing electric motorcycles could open new doors. Companies like Zero Motorcycles and Damon Motors are gaining traction, and Harley's Livewire could become a leader in this space if it continues to innovate. Number 5. Engaging in trade negotiations. Actively lobbying for fairer trade agreements through industry associations and government representatives could help reduce tariffs over time. While this is a long-term strategy, continuous engagement with policymakers is essential. Number 6. Expanding financing and subscription models. To make motorcycles more accessible in high-tariff markets, brands could introduce innovative financing options, lease programs, or subscription-based ownership models that lower the upfront cost for consumers. As these legendary brands navigate the challenges of global trade tensions, it's imperative for policymakers to consider the cultural and economic significance they hold. Constructive dialogue and fair trade practices are essential to ensure that Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles continue to thrive for generations to come. If you believe in preserving the legacy of these legendary motorcycles, make your voice heard, support fair trade practices, and reach out to your local representatives. Together, we can keep the spirit of the open road alive. The open road has always been a symbol of possibility and freedom. Let's ensure that these iconic motorcycles continue to ride into the future, unimpeded by the barriers of tariff wars. Like, subscribe, and join the conversation. Let's keep these legends on the road.